Activated, your window into how we can change the way in which we aspire for persons with disabilities, how we change our expectations from seeing inability to expecting ability. Activated takes us on a journey of taking lessons from persons with disabilities in how we must do things differently to unleash the contributions persons with disabilities can and must make to building a disability-inclusive Mzansi. Hello and welcome to Activated with me, your host, Taryn Tomlinson. Millennials and Generation Z are better equipped to challenge the ableism practiced in a disabling society, confronting stereotypes and stigma head-on through innovation, creativity, and making the most of the many opportunities that have been created for them. In today's show, we explore how they shape a future South Africa that takes pride in all its people, what democracy means to them, and what their suggestions are for building a Mzansi that is truly inclusive. We touch base with their deep sense of interconnectedness and identity, which has led them on a drive to give back to the next generation through empowering projects. Let's get activated. In today's show, we visit Filadelfia Secondary School located in Pretoria that caters to students with disabilities. Our guest today, student disability activist and leader Luigia Nicholas, who has come to help us explore the different life experiences Generation Z and Millennials have, depending on where they live and the intersectional ties they carry. We meet Anneline Mathiba, activist with albinism and founder of Proud Albinism. Philadelphia School is al jarenlang een van die baie min skole wat onderrig aan leerders met gestremdhede van reg oor die land bied. Wat hierdie hoërskool verder uniek maak, is die feit dat hulle leerders met visuele, gehoor en of liggaamlike gestremdhede verwelkom, wat dikwels nie die geval in hierdie skole is nie. Die skool berei die leerders voor om hul toekoms met selfvertroue aan te pak en om hulle plek in die kunste, ekonomie, akademie, sport en gemeenskaplewe in te neem. Ons eerste stop is in Soshanguve, net buite Pretoria. Soshanguve is a township situated 30 kilometers north of Pretoria, Gauteng. The name Soshanguve is an acronym for Sotho, Shangaan, Nguni, and Venda. Soshanguve developed historically as the consolidation of 3 pre-existing townships and thus is extremely diverse from suburb to suburb, ranging from informal shacks to well-established formal housing.
My name is Derek Bete. I am the principal of Filadelfia in Soshanguve. The school started in 1985 with only 130 learners. The school accommodates 3 disabilities, the visually impaired, deaf, and physical disabled.
My name is Oscar Luigia Nicholas. I've been blind since 2010, so that is a little bit painful. Whenever I'm walking through a challenge or a painful moment, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have been blind. But to motivate myself, I just say no, you shouldn't focus on things that you cannot change at the moment. So I just adapt by looking at the abilities that I have.
My aim is to help the deaf people to understand that Philadelphia has education and education is important in Philadelphia.
So we are also motivating them to say that when you are going out there, you will encounter challenges because of people who will not understand the way you are. I will ask that the people must not shame them when they see them and think that, oh, poor boy who's sitting on the wheelchair or poor girl who's sitting on the wheelchair. They are clever. They are very good in everything, to an extent that you will also feel for yourself that I am able, but I cannot do what they are doing.
We have to teach them how to deal with the real world, because when they're in here, we obviously cater for them, but then we forget that they'll eventually leave high school and go to the outside world. Maybe sometimes tour with them, make them see different people, just go out of this environment so that they know what to expect once they leave high school.
If I were the president for a week, I would create campaigns to teach people and for them to know that there are people like us who are differently able from them, and we won't have to have people staying with us or having to answer certain questions.
The coronavirus disturbed us very much. We had to be very, very vigilant in making sure that our learners are being kept busy. We are having continuous workshops with them, and then we train the RCL and the other staff members in making sure that they understand this pandemic. We invite people from outside to come and motivate our learners, especially the people with disabilities, because the people with disabilities, they can only believe to see other people who have gone the same route, and in that it is always encouraging them.
When I'm out in this school was so happy because of me, that Kumbulani was a good child and presenting my school.
Philadelphia Secondary School continues to push the envelope, ensuring that their learners leave school confident and with a vision for their future. After the break, we meet Luigia Nicholas, a student mentor at the Disability Unit in the Center for Student Counseling and Development at Stellenbosch University. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Luigia Nicholas is a South African completing her postgraduate diploma in tax law at Stellenbosch University and a Bachelor of Commerce in Marketing and Entrepreneurship at Stellenbosch. Luigia has a visual impairment and uses a guide dog Haiku for assistance with her daily work and activities that contributes towards a more accessible Africa for those with disabilities. Her aim is to educate others on disability awareness and inclusivity. Hi there, Luigia, and welcome to you and to Haiku. So, Luigia, today's topic, we're really delving into young persons with disabilities, really not waiting for opportunities to come to them, but taking the forefront in creating those opportunities. Now, on university, you have quite an active role in terms of disability activism. How did that start for you?
My leadership journey at the university started in 2015 when I joined a society that was actually, their main goal was to advocate for students with disabilities and just to spread the words of disability awareness. And I joined as a member, and I got the chance to engage with other students with disabilities and to learn what the issues that they have and how they cope with their disabilities, or how they navigate through student life with it. And this actually inspired me to be more involved in the student leadership structure. So then I became the chairperson of that society, and currently I'm on the SRC at the university, and we basically, we're the Student Representative Council, and we sit with management with all the decisions made at the university. And my role as the special needs manager is to advocate for students with disabilities and to make sure that any decisions that the universities make, they have to keep in mind the impact that it will have on students with disabilities.
So, you come into contact with students on a daily basis, and, one always often hears about, the differences between millennials and Generation Zs. And what do you think the greatest difference that you find in terms of self-advocacy?
So Generation Z is definitely more outspoken with what they need. But my struggle that I face every day is just like trying to motivate people to actually do the work that they fight for. Because it's very easy to just complain or to be outspoken about what your needs are. But we also need to come up with solutions. And that's where we get stuck sometimes, is just coming up with the solutions that can help everyone.
But what do you think that universities and colleges could do to create more enabling environments for persons with disabilities or students with disabilities?
They can listen and learn by themselves. My issue that I face is that education is a key, but people don't really want to understand what the needs are of students with disabilities. And people think they understand it, but then when you actually come in practice, then they do the complete opposite. So just getting that basic understanding and knowing that disabilities is on a spectrum. Not everyone's disability is the same, so you can't treat everyone the same. You can't put them in a box.
Luigia, before we go, what advice would you like to give young students about how they can step into the forefront of their lives and become activists, particularly in universities and TVET colleges?
So I always believe that you should grab every opportunity that you get. Some opportunities may be scary, it's out of your comfort zone, but just grab that opportunity and just be yourself, be comfortable with who you are. I know a lot of students are not comfortable yet with their disabilities, so they don't really want to focus on it, but it is a part of you, and it doesn't need to be your identity, but acknowledge it and then show people that you are more than your disability. And we all get noticed with our disability first, but then you have the opportunity to show that person you're more than your disability. I'm more than just being blind. I do a lot more than just being a blind person to most people. And then try to make every opportunity your own, and just go for it, basically.
Thank you so much for joining us, Luigia. It's been absolutely great to have your insight here with us on Activated.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for allowing me to share my student journey as well.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you for Haiku for coming and joining us as well. En nou ontmoet ons 'n trotse vrou wat met albinisme leef en wat deur middel van model en filmwerk hierdie gemeenskap wil inspireer en opbou. Dit doen sy sonder 'n borgskap of finansiering, net sywe harde werk en vertroue in haar missie om die stigma van albinisme te beveg. Ons ontmoet vir Anneline Mathiba. Anneline Mathiba is the founder of Proud Albinism, a modeling and entertainment platform for people living with albinism. They also have confidence-building programs and mass education classes to teach about their condition. Based in Johannesburg, Proud Albinism has gained massive support since its inception and continues to grow.
Having a disability has impacted my life a lot. As a child with albinism, my eyesight was a huge problem. But thanks to my mom, she made sure that teachers must understand my condition. And every year, my mom would make sure that I sit in the front of every class that I go to. Opportunities have not been opened that much for us, people with albinism, as well as people with disabilities. I feel that the industry needs to be more informed because, for example, if there's a person who's in a wheelchair, it should be a real actor who's in a wheelchair, not an actor who's pretending to be someone in a wheelchair. Because there's always a saying in the disability world that nothing about us without us. So I think that's something that the industry should look into. But I do see some opportunities for, let's say, production opportunities in the media. I think it's starting to open up. Right now, there's Miss Albinism South Africa. It's the beginning. Myself, as Proud Albinism, offer photo shoots for young girls or people with albinism who want to be models. We do a portfolio for you, and then you can go out into the world and conquer with what we are able to assist you with. The more people with disabilities there are in a working environment, the better, because when you work with someone, you get to understand them more, and you get to be able to put yourself in their shoes and understand what other people go through, especially having a disability or being born different. My passion in life is to travel Africa and be able to assist my people with albinism because they need us. They need skincare, protection. Sometimes they need even more than skin protection. To succeed even more as an artist, I'd love to go worldwide, walk the runways of different countries, just being able to achieve what I've always wanted to achieve in life. People think out there that We are creatures, and sometimes we are a curse. Sometimes we bring them luck. Actually, what they don't understand is that we are only human. We also possess red blood, like everyone else. You know, that there's nothing magical about us, and there's no part of us that can make anyone rich. Proud albinism. I am and always will be a proud albinism woman, because we are proud of who we are. We are proud of what we stand for, and we are proud of where we come from. Proud albinism. I am and always will be.
Na die advertentiebreek besoek ons die Universiteit van Kaapstad se dienskantoor om eerstehands te ervaar wat die tipe en kwaliteit ondersteuner is wat studente met gestremdhede van hierdie kantore kan verwag. Welcome back. UCT is committed to working towards the creation of a discrimination-free and inclusive environment, which encourages students with disabilities full, independent, and effective participation in university life. The Disability Service works together with students and staff to facilitate the removal of barriers facing students and staff with disabilities. The Disability Service works together with students and staff to facilitate the removal of barriers facing disabled students and staff. They strive to remove all physical, policy, information, and attitudinal barriers that might prevent disabled members of the UCT community from fulfilling their potential. Some of the services include real-time text transcription, South African Sign Language interpreters, materials for visually impaired students, audio transcriptions, speech-to-text, text-to-audio, and voice-over services. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme provides bursaries for students with disabilities. The bursary program is aimed at providing financial support for students with disabilities who are academically able and need financial support. It is intended to open opportunities for study in further and higher education and to provide the necessary additional teaching and learning support for students to overcome any barriers to learning when trying to access the curriculum. Die Universiteit van Kaapstad is daartoe verbind om 'n diskriminasievrye en inklusiewe omgewing te skep wat studente met gestremdhede volle, onafhanklike en effektiewe deelname aan die hoofstroom van die universiteitslewe aan te moedig. Silomo Khumalo has a Bachelor of Social Science degree, majoring in Sociology and Legal Studies, an LLB, and a Bachelor of Social Science Honours in Public Policy. Silomo is selfs 'n persoon met 'n gestremdheid. Hy beskryf homself as 'n maatskaplike ingenieur, 'n aktivis vir sosiale geregtigheid en 'n aspirant menseregte prokureur. Kom ons ontmoet hom. Silomo Khumalo has taken center stage in changing the narrative for people with disabilities by leading the change management in government when he joined the Rights of Persons with Disabilities program in the Ministry of the Presidency.
I studied law at university. I have an LLB and also studied BA in social science, studied also an honours in public policy. The challenges that I faced previously, being a person who could see and all of a sudden I'm a person who can't see, having to deal with friends, family, that whole dimension actually informs my activism around issues of persons with disabilities. The reason why I joined the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities was sort of to somehow contribute in that whole process of changing the lives of persons with disabilities. We are currently trying to develop a legislative framework that will speak to addressing issues of persons with disabilities. So for me, this was more wanting to be part of that process of bringing about change. In the next 5 years, I want to be in this process of developing the legislative framework. I want to be in government, want to be involved. And once that process is finalized and probably we have a legislative framework, we have an act or different acts that seek to attend to issues of persons with disabilities.
Silomo het groot drome en die regte houding om sy drome te bereik. Dit is dan al vir hierdie week, maar voor ons tot sins sê, luister ons na Limpopo gebore model, aktivis en uitvoerder, Gaddafi die digter. Gaddafi het een van die mees gesogte skrywers in die Afrikaanse poësiewêreld geword en 'n lewende voorbeeld van 'n vasbeslotte go-getter. Geniet julle dag verder, tot volgende week, selfde tyd, slegs op SABC2, You Belong. Tot sins.
Life is hard, matters of the heart, praying for cageless lives, and I've been working hard. Too much blood lost in the land of the free. We fought for freedom, not to harm each other because of the color of our skin. To give life to nature has become a sin. Reproduction of albinism is seen as a sin and an opportunity, yet all that a soul seeks was to live free. Why does my melanin appears to be a job opportunity to feed the sick society? Where is our unity? The world stands still as we continue to steal the pride of another human being. I'm sick and tired of all this hatred, discrimination, and premeditated killings. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve to live. Why should I live? Maybe I should live. This earth is not for me, heaven is for keeps. Do I really have to question my identity? I asked God, why did he create me? Ever since I was a kid, the situation did not change, it has always been. The color of my skin will dig my grave 6 feet. I'm a rejected seed. They failed to protect me but managed to legalize weed. Dear God, how do I fasten the speed of my prayers to relieve persons living with albinism to live in peace? Dear police, please protect my brothers, my sisters, fathers, including innocent kids. I've mastered rejection as a seed. I've mastered name calling to build a brand that wins. I'm a beast, I'm a rare breed, I'm a surviving human being. My true potential and purpose is yet to be seen. I was honored to a certain degree. Don't tame my wildness. Don't shame my uniqueness. Don't scale my strengths and weaknesses. Don't gossip nor assume anything regarding my existence.